I got another crazy one for you. It's called Kill Boksoon. So we start with this dude. He's just laying in his bed, or so he thinks. He's got a pillow he's wearing in his diaper, or his undergarments, whatever, right? But he wakes up, he's in the middle of this goddamn road. It's been blocked off by who? This assassin by the name of Boksoon. So the dude just laying there, this guy by the name of Oda. He's like one of the leaders of a Yakuza clans. So now that he figured out who she is, he's thinking to himself, well, why did you just let me live? So apparently as Boksoon is getting older up there in age, her daughter Jay has been convincing her to like fight fairly when it comes to stuff. Now her daughter doesn't know what she does, so what do you mean by fighting fair? Well, apparently they were watching this thing on the news or whatever like that about this prime minister and his son getting elected into a big school or whatever like that. So the thing is, Jay thinks the prime minister was doing some underhanded tactics that make sure his son got into the school, and she's thinking to herself, well, if he was able to get in, somebody else had to get rejected. And that's where the whole fair conversation came up about, right? So she gave him a robe and a samurai sword so he could fight fair. So what's she gonna fight with? A fucking machete. Actually, she came out there with an axe, but you get the point. Then they start the beef. It's a hell of a battle. Once again, she's not an early day assassin stuff like she used to be. So basically, she tries to think out all these scenarios of what could happen to her while doing this fight. And trust me, this is a big part of the movie. So she sees herself getting killed if she does something wrong. So basically, she's like, you know what? Let me go change my weapon. And after having all this healthy competition, she comes back and bangs two off of them and is like, yo, fuck this. I'm like, whatever happened to healthy competition? But I mean, I guess she is an assassin. So, I mean, there you go. She's like, man, I ain't got time for this. I gotta go to the store and get groceries and go back to the house. So she goes to one of these like Kroger restaurants or whatever like that, and then she goes back to the house. Now she has time when she gets there, she like fixes up her plants. She's living in a little nice luxurious house and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? The only thing she's really worried about is her daughter Jay. So Boksoon really doesn't see her daughter's Jay's point of view sometimes. It's like they have total opposite views or whatever like that because they grew up in different eras and all that other stuff. So then we see Jay later on, Boksoon later on chilling with a couple of peoples or whatever like that, this little noodle spot. Now, they all at one point in time used to work for these companies, but they ain't been working for them in a while, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them are like, you know what I'm saying, trying to find work, but they've been falling on hard times lately. Apparently, Boksoon's been doing her thing because she's been an international celebrity and she was like one of the best assassins in the entire fucking organization. So, you know, she's treating her friends to food and drinks and things of that nature, right? Now, one of her other friends is named Lee-san. He-san, my bad. They get a little intense argument saying who's better or whatever like that. He's like, yeah, I've been getting better by the time you believe it. She's like, well, I'm still that nigga though. So you thinking to yourself, it's just tension or whatever, right? Turns out she been smashing that nigga, giving him the business. He's son out there clapping all the cheeks. So technically, she still works for the company. The company's ran by a guy by the name of Ming King, but they call it MK. The chairman is a lady by the name of Cha. She works under the director of MK. Then we get a flashback of back in the early days when all five of them were actually working for the group. They always had two rules. You never kill minors. You never take contracts outside of the company. Now, there's this one military dude named Jimmy. Before I explain them, let me explain this. They have other companies that transpire through their transactions and money through this one company. So other guys got their guys that are working for them. Now, Jimmy's kind of the rebel or whatever like that. He was in military and all this other stuff. He always challenges their authority, but he's just asking questions. He's not challenging them on some like, life or death shit. You know what I'm saying? He's the outspoken one out the group, but I'll get back to him later. So like I said before, it gets to the point where Boksoon is the only one that's still working within that group because of her specialty, her morality and things of that nature. And when they take on contracts, they call them shows. So now her original contract with the group is about to expire, but MK wants them to renew the contracts. So Boksoon goes back over to the building. She's met by Cha. Then all of a sudden we see this fight in the bathroom. We're like, what the fuck is this? But it turns out to be a show. There's this one girl that works there by the name of Chi Long. Now Chi Long is fucking efficient with everything that she's doing. Matter of fact, she's the top woman of the group. Everybody wants her to be the next Boksoon. So now Boksoon's been watching Chi Long's work. Cha's like, anybody else want to fight? They don't want to smoke. So then Boksoon steps up to the challenge, so friendly sparring competition. Now don't get it twisted. Chi Long is about that life, but bottom line is Boksoon had to put her in her place. The veteran still got it over the younger niggas. But Cha Long looks up to Boksoon, you know what I'm saying? She knows about her reputation and things of that nature, right? So now she gets to talk to MK. Now Boksoon and MK are talking about these two different contracts, right? Now he wants her to renew real bad, but at this point right now, they're about to handle two separate things. MK is about to go to Russia to handle some business, and he wants Boksoon to take care of a separate assignment. Remember when I was talking about the prime minister and his son getting accepted at a different college or whatever like that? Well, it turns out he wants them to kill the prime minister's son, but to make it look like a suicide though. So now I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Isn't he breaking his first rule about not killing minors? So I guess apparently the prime minister owed the company money or something. And if they set it up like that, then the prime minister will get like sympathy money or something like that to be able to send to the company. I'm not sure exactly how it works. So bottom line is that's what they need her to do. And she really doesn't want to do it. And she thinks to her last mind, she's like, all right, if I do this, this could be the last assignment I'm doing. But she's not telling him that because obviously he wants her to stay with the company. So then it comes down to the mission. But the thing is, Cha wants her to bring somebody along. And of course, it's going to be Ji Long. So they got all this equipment together. They're supposed to be having sleeping pills and things of that nature. But when they get to the house to see the boys sleep, Boksoon ends up getting a call from her daughter. And then she's basically thinking to herself, she can't do it. So she ends up telling MK she failed the mission, but everybody's like, the fuck, she don't fail missions? What are you talking about? So they're thinking to themselves in the back of her mind, maybe she didn't want to do the mission. G-Long confirmed it, but MK knows she's basically lying to him. Now there's a situation going on with Jay, Boksoon's daughter. Apparently she stabbed this one boy in the chest. I'm like, what the fuck she do that for? So apparently in secret, she actually likes girls, and she likes this chick named Sora. So the thing is, when they gotta go to the principal's office, nobody's saying shit, and the guy's parents coming up there pissed off as they should be. And they're saying basically, if nobody talks, then Jay will be suspended from the school like permanently. She can never come back. And they got a week to figure this out. So she's stressing about her daughter being able to stay in school. Meanwhile, she got to stress about this fucking assassin shit, this goddamn company. So we see that Chairman Cha is kind of manipulative or whatever like that in the situation. But before I tell you what she decided to do, all of a sudden we get this flashback. Now we see a young MK, he's got this grown man or whatever like that hanging for dear life. He's got him under a chair. He's about to kick that bitch out, then all of a sudden we see a young Cha coming out, about to come back to the house. So he gets the drop on her after seeing her father hanging up in the air or whatever like that. And the way she's talking to sound kind of crazy because they go back and forth with the talking while he's got the gun on her. And she says, fuck this, kicks the chair out from under her father. He's dead as shit. So MK's like, man, fuck all that witness shit. You about to be buying apprentice out this bitch. And that's how Cha got to the group. But the crazy thing about this shit is, apparently Cha is actually MK's sister. And I'm like, wait a minute. Now he keeps saying that, but I still have my doubts about it, but I'll explain some more later. Because both of them technically run this assassin company and whatnot. So Boksoon and Jay have this like relationship where she's not really telling her the whole truth, but then Jay is like, you know what? I finally want to tell her what really happened at the school. So this one guy's been trying to get at Jay or whatever like that, right? So this is the real reason why Jay stabbed him in his chest. Turns out this guy was still around when he was taking pictures of Jay and Sora kissing. Now, Jay doesn't think her mom can handle it, but Sora really doesn't think her parents can handle that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, their parents don't believe in, same sex getting together. They believe in opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? So that's the culture. You know what I mean? So the dude was threatening to expose these pictures if Jay didn't go out him for like a month or something like that. But Jay didn't want to explain that to Boksoon, her mom, because obviously her mom was probably thinking the same shit. And the way she came off with it, it was like, yeah, she was right. Her mom didn't present it in the right light, you know what I'm saying? Then we get the scene where we see Hee-soon, he's chilling because his dad is in the hospital or whatever like that. And then who visits him? Fucking Cha. But what's she visit him for? Now Boksoon and all the niggas come through with the fucking spot again, chilling with the granddad and, all the people that's been out of work for a while, they road dogs. And all of a sudden, Hee-san comes in there, you think to yourself like, why is he looking all depressed? Turns out this motherfucker took the job that Boksoon could not finish off. And he went in there and killed the prime minister's kid personally. Who got him to do that? Of course Cha got him to do that. And then she has a conversation on the phone, everybody put it on speakerphone or whatever like that. And now all of a sudden she's giving everybody jobs to get back in the organization. They start giving everybody A rank and B rank jobs all of a sudden right out the blue, right? So Boksoon is looking at Nissan some type of way or whatever like that, but she knows why he did it. All of a sudden the old man's been serving niggas, strikes her first. He hits her with a fucking Indiana Jones whip and hits her in her neck. I'm like, what the fuck this is happening? Now the beef starts again. So whose side is G-Long gonna be on? Turns out she ends up rocking with Boksoon. And everybody gets done deaded, including Hee-san. MK comes out the blue and starts choking up Boksoon and be like, yo, what the fuck just happened? Yo, what you doing? You messed up the contracts? And then G-Long comes out of nowhere. She's like, it's not her fault. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to protect ourselves, blah, 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 blah. So Boksoon tells MK, like, look, man, whatever you need me to do, I'll sign the contract. I'll be there tomorrow. Knowing damn well she don't want to, but then she saw the scenario of her getting killed by him and was like, you know what? Let me think better about this. Like I said, it's crazy. They show all these scenarios about what could happen possibly if she says certain else or does something else or whatever like that. And then it goes right back to the point at hand. You be like, oh shit, okay, let's see what's really going to happen. Then Boksoon finally comes home to Jay. And they get this heartfelt speech about their feelings or whatever like that. Then Jay tells her mom, like, yeah, I found a gun and a passport in your pocketbook. So she's like, oh shit. So she's like, oh, do you work for CIA or Natural Intelligence or something like that? Boksoon's thinking to herself like, whew. Because she don't want her daughter to know she's a fucking assassin. Then the next day comes. We are the corporate heads in the building, you know what I'm saying? MK's in the building. Meanwhile, Boksoon is being escorted by Cha to be in this room so she can finally renew her contract or whatever. Now, the whole point of this struggle of everything that's been going on is apparently, well, this is after the companies found out that Boksoon had murked like 5 niggas. They thought at the beginning, when they saw a killing or something that happened or whatever, they thought the killing was so gruesome, it could have been done by either somebody that was actually in the company or somebody that got fired from the company. So MK at that one point was trying to calm down the smoke and everything like that, right? Now, military nigga Jimmy is trying to start the beef up again, trying to get some answers. Now, it's this one line that Ihan has said to Boksoon when he was talking about throwing a bloody knife out there. Hey, you're gonna put a bloody knife, you know what I mean? Stamp for approval. Now, what does a bloody knife mean? Basically, you challenging somebody to fight to the death. So basically, Jimmy is challenging MK's authority, whatever like that. Then he puts a knife in front of his face. I'm like, oh shit. Then as MK starts talking, we found out he's actually the one that killed the assailant that everybody was talking about. I'm like, what? This is the most craziest shit I've ever seen, yo. This motherfucker picks up the knife by the blade, grips that bitch, and beats Jimmy to death with it with the butt of the blade while he's still holding the blade. He fucks his face up and throws him on the goddamn table like he ain't shit. You gotta think to yourself, all the company dudes were rallying around Jimmy because he was asking some decent questions. The bottom line is, once MK fucked them up, all the company dudes was like, yeah, I don't want that smoke, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna roll on out. And you know what happened within all this time? Boksoon ended up killing Ja. She's like, fuck your lame ass contracts. I'm about to beat this bitch to death and that's it. She done. Nigga. So Boksoon ended up going back to the house, chilling with her daughter, you know what I'm saying? Some happy times, you know what I'm saying? Just eating or whatever like that. But before she had got home, MK ended up calling Jay and having this conversation to let her mom know, like, yo, it's time, yo. You gotta come back up here. So she getting her meal in with her daughter, whatever like that. And it's time for the final confrontation. She gonna come right back up there and get more business. This fucking scene, yo. I swear to God, yo. This should be a cinematic or masterpiece. She comes up there with the same fucking weapon that she killed Oda with. Yeah, the little Tori Hanzo sword, but I don't want to call it Tori Hanzo sword because it's not really a Tori Hanzo sword, but it's good enough for steel. It's like 400 years worth of steel. Anyway. This scene is so fucking bonkers, yo. She's just going up the flag. It's like 3 floors, right? She gets on the 3rd floor. As soon as the elevator door opens, he starts banging off and shit. But he's not hitting her. He's just like shooting around her on purpose or whatever. And she's just standing there. I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then he tells her to sit down and offers her a drink. Nigga, my mind was fucking blown just watching that shit. They start talking about past stuff, all this other craziness. And then they get to beefing. They show all this back and forth mayhem. They show all these scenarios where she's thinking to herself, if I do this, I'm gonna get killed. And this, that, third. Then it's a fucking epic ass battle, yo. And then the whole time you think to yourself, all that shit was in her head. They never moved off the seats. I'm like, what the fuck? So then what really happens, she ends up slicing his stomach done deal. And I'm like, oh shit. But right before he died, he says he sent somebody to the house or whatever like that to give Jay a tablet. And the tablet shows the cameras that are happening on the 3rd floor. And she's watching everything that went down between Boksoon and MK. Like, oh shit. The one secret she was trying to keep from her daughter, and now she's watching all this shit go down. So when she finally gets back to the house or whatever like that, she sees her daughter in there asleep. Daughter's like, hey mom, everything's okay? Like everything's all good, whatever like that. And it cuts off like that, but there's one more extra scene. Now apparently Jay goes back to the school. Apparently she's gonna be moving away, going to a different school, whatever like that. She talks to Sora, and then she like tells her to shake her hand, and she grabs her close and is like, hey, I ain't know whether to kiss you or kill you. Then she's like, bottom line, you take care of yourself. And then she bowed down to her, and then she walks off with a smile on her face. And that's the end of the movie. But here's my question. Oh, wait a minute. That's another thing I forgot. Shit, this is the big part of the movie. Hold on. Turns out when you seen the flashback of MK that was supposed to be killing Cha's dad, turns out that wasn't Cha at all. That was actually Boksoon. And Boksoon was the one that killed her own dad. When she kicked the chair out from under him, he just hung himself to death. I'm like, hold up, what in all of these fuck? Those movies so goddamn epic. First off, I'm thinking to myself, like, were MK and Cha really brother and sister? Did Jay actually see the footage of her mom killing MK? Or was he just fucking with her? What were they really doing these jobs for the other companies? Just to make some extra money? I mean, like, what exactly were they trying to get across here? Matter of fact, fuck all that. Go watch Kill Boksoon on Netflix. You don't know what time it is? Yeah!